So I recently did a little news and rumors video on the upcoming iPhone 13, and based on the information we had then, I concluded that the iPhone 13 was going to be only an incremental upgrade and you would probably be better off sitting this one out. But a few new very interesting tidbits have been floating around the interwebs, and now I'm wondering, was I wrong? Let's ramble.
Hold up, place go wild when I pull up. They all on me like it wants.
Hey, what's up guys? It is great to see you all again, and if you're new here, I'm Patrick and this is where I ramble about tech and other stuff. So we're about a month away from the actual Apple event. Well, actually Mark Gurman claims that there might be several Apple events this fall, but it's all but confirmed that the iPhone event will take place in the third week of September. And since these events usually take place on a Tuesday, we can relatively safely say that the iPhone 13 will be presented on the 14th of September, and by extension, we can then also assume that the actual product release will be around the 23rd, 24th of September, since this usually happens about a week after the iPhones are announced at the event. So now that we got that out of the way, what exactly do we expect this new iPhone to look like and what features will it be packing? Well, there's a couple of things we already talked about in the previous video, but I'll go over them very briefly since I can't expect you guys to watch all of my videos, and maybe you haven't even seen my ugly mug before and this is the first time on the channel. In that case, welcome. So we already knew that the iPhones will have the same boxy design as last year, which makes sense because it was a pretty radical design change, people seem to love it, and it's just not very likely for a company to change their design again only a year later. Two areas where we did see slight changes was on the camera bump and on the notch on the front of the phone. The Pro model is getting a much larger camera module to match that of the Pro Max, at least in size, and the 13 and 13 mini show a new design whereby the lenses are now placed diagonally. The new relocated lenses and the bigger camera bumps are in line with another rumor, and that is that Apple is introducing sensor shift, which is the term they use for in-body image stabilization, to all the iPhone 13 models. Lastly, trusty old Mark Gurman, who is one of the most reputable leakers out there, reported that there will be some upgrades to the iPhone's video capabilities. Now, this is where things are becoming more interesting because Gurman later reported that these upgrades are going to be quite significant. Firstly, Apple is said to be introducing portrait mode to video, or cinematic video as Apple calls it internally. Now, on paper, that is an amazing feature. Portrait mode basically mimics the bokeh effect, which is the blurry background everybody's after when shooting photos or videos. On actual cameras, this look is achieved by fast lenses and large sensors, but on phones, this is software based. Apple already introduced this feature in the photo camera of later iPhones, and while it looks decent, you can still tell that it's not the real deal. So if it's not even perfect on photo yet, I'm having a difficult time imagining it to be perfect for video. Also, Samsung has made an attempt to put video portrait mode on their phones and it looks horrible. Having said that, there have been rumors of improved LiDAR scanners on the iPhone 13s, and this might help achieving a better bokeh effect as well. Who knows? Gurman also reported that the depth sensor can be used to add or reduce the amount of blur after recording, and that would be very cool. Perhaps more interesting is the rumored addition of ProRes video to the iPhone. Now, I realize we are getting into camera nerd territory here, but this is a big deal. ProRes is what most of us use to edit professional video files on Final Cut Pro, and it gives us much more control in the editing process. But the file sizes are much larger, and that would fit in perfectly with the earlier rumor of a 1TB storage version on the higher end iPhone 13 models, because if you shoot in ProRes, you will need a lot of storage, and it said that ProRes could be reserved for the higher end models, which will also get the 1TB version. Personally, I've always been a huge advocate of buying lower internal storage and using external SSDs instead. It's cheaper, it's often faster, and I do it on my Macs as well as my iPad Pro. But when it comes to phones, I have a slightly different opinion. If you use your phone to shoot a lot of videos. I use a couple of little action cameras, and these work through my app on my iPhone. I dump the footage on my iPhone so I can keep filming, and this takes up a lot of space. Combine that with the rumored ProRes files, and suddenly 1TB doesn't sound as ridiculous anymore. But again, this is mostly for us video nerds, and unless you do use your phone as a video camera, I do not think you will need this much storage. Another cool little nugget regarding the iPhone 13's camera is the addition of color control, which is basically filters on steroids. We'll be able to use filters to make our photos look better and even apply these filters only to certain parts of the image. And that is pretty cool. Whenever I share a photo on social media, I just use Lightroom to give it a quick once over. It'll be interesting to see whether Apple's new feature could be an alternative to that. Right, enough camera talk. Let's move to the front side of the phone, starting with the notch, which is still rumored to be smaller. In fact, John Prosser showed a little drawing to explain what this might look like. Personally, I don't think Apple will ever get rid of the notch entirely. It's kind of a signature trademark, which lets people instantly distinguish an iPhone from any other phone, and to the real Apple fanboys, this matters. They want you to know they're using an iPhone. Now, those same fanboys might buy the iPhone 13 just for the smaller notch, because this will not only show the world they're using an iPhone, oh no, these boys are rocking a brand spanking new iPhone 13. That's what's up. Also on the front is the display, and Gurman confirmed that we finally are getting 120 Hz, which Apple calls ProMotion. Hallelujah. Other brands have been offering this for some time now, and it's about time Apple catches up. A lot of people are saying, I don't really care about the refresh rate, but you will care. I've used Android phones for many years, both for review purposes and also as my actual daily phones. And once you have that 120 Hz display, you will definitely notice that a non-120 Hz display feels slower and just less responsive. The iPad Pro has it, and even when I switch between my iPad Pro and my iPhone 12, there's a noticeable difference in how smooth the display looks and feels. It's just one of those things you don't really miss until you've tried it. Rumors are also still alive about an always-on display. Personally, that doesn't really interest me, but I know some of you are really looking forward to it. Obviously, there will be a new chip, the A15, which again, obviously will be better than its predecessor. The fast chip will be needed to deliver the processing power for the improved video capabilities, but the A14 chip is known to be thermal throttled by Apple because of heat problems. My iPhone 12 mini still overheats sometimes when I charge it wirelessly, especially in my car. Apple is working on those heat problems, and Max Weinbach reported there will be a bigger battery as well as better MagSafe capabilities, meaning larger coils, higher charging wattage, and stronger magnets. So let's hope the chip will be able to handle what Apple is looking to throw at it. A bit of good news for those of you worried about the price. This is looking to stay the same as the iPhone 12, meaning the mini starting around $699, the regular 13 will be around $799, $999 for the Pro, and the Pro Max should start at $100 more at about $1,100. Was I wrong? Well, I still think it's not going to be worth upgrading from an iPhone 12 for most people. If, and only if, Apple actually pulls off these rumored video enhancements, the iPhone 13 will be worth it for video creators. You know, beginner YouTubers that aren't ready to invest in a dedicated camera, or even existing creators that want a second or a third camera that's good enough to add to their more professional setup. And of course, it's always nice to have a powerful camera in your pocket at any time. I'm not one of those creators that carries their full-frame camera with them everywhere they go, but there have been plenty of moments where I wished I had. So personally, I'd be interested in a powerful smartphone video camera. But not everyone is a content creator, I'm aware of that. In fact, most people aren't. So like I said earlier, if you have an iPhone 12 or even an 11, you'd probably be totally fine sitting this one out. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, give it one of these, it really does make a difference. Subscribe for more content. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one. You will definitely notice because this will not only, since this